And this mountain's way over here.
Right, normally you float over the water.
For 6-year-old Colin Beckford, the library is a lifelong learning experience.
But if you went way down deep, there's mountains way down under the water. Cool, huh?
A seemingly safe and secure environment that puts his mom at ease.
We've never had any problems or any issues.
After all, there are security systems in place and a security guard on duty. And a screening system to foil what the Cleveland Library says is its biggest crime, the theft of books.
Well, that's our biggest thing, is people trying to take books out of here, or movies.
But book theft may be the least of the library's security problems. We reviewed incident reports from libraries in Cleveland and throughout Cuyahoga County. In just the past 6 months, we found more than 50 cases of violence, pornography, and sex. A patron robbed at gunpoint. A man downloading and printing child porn. Used condoms found on the computer room floor. Teens having sex on a sink in the men's room. Teens having oral sex. Male fondle self while looking at a 13-year-old girl.
We have a spectrum of problem behaviors, some of which is criminal, the majority of it is not.
Former FBI agent John Dunn runs security at the county library's 28 branches.
We have, I think, all the typical ingredients that attach to having almost unlimited public access.
That includes public access to the computer for patrons like 23-year-old Mike Cooper. What do you look up on the internet?
Nothing really. My sports scores, stuff like that.
Sports, pornography, stuff like that?
No. Why?
I don't know why. You tell me why.
I don't look up pornography, so no.
For some, pursuing the porn sites is a favorite pastime at local libraries, sometimes with young children just a few feet away. Our undercover cameras and library incident reports back us up. But sometimes it's more than just looking. It's a public library, all right, but it's not a place where patrons should be acting out their private fantasies.
Can you think of any time when a patron sitting at a computer and watching porn and masturbating would be acceptable behavior?
Absolutely not.
Criminal behavior?
It could be, certainly, absolutely.
You ever perform a sexual act at the library?
No, I have not.
What if I told you we got video of you performing a sexual act?
Well, it wasn't me.
We can't really show you, but that's Mike Cooper pleasuring himself while watching porn at the Berea Library, just across the room from the children's section. Take our word for it, and his. You just reached out and grabbed yourself and started having sex?
I did what I wasn't thinking. I made a mistake.
So we've seen adults looking up the sites and actually having sex in the library.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
Based on the fact that there are guys like you out there doing this kind of thing, you think parents ought to be a little more careful about letting their kids at the library alone?
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, if you were a parent, wouldn't you be afraid of a guy like you?
I'm not a sexual predator or anything. Yeah, I would be afraid.
If Mike Cooper doesn't trust himself, should we? Well, apparently the Berea Library does. Was he pleasuring himself when you saw him last time?
Yeah.
Berea Library manager Cindy Beresne says they caught Cooper in the act a few years ago.
I told him I would have to call the police if it continued.
And Cooper ran out of the building.
We want people here. We leave people alone. We do not bother people unless and until they create an issue that puts them in where they're disrupting our mission or the ability of other people to use the library, or they fall afoul of our rules or our policies.
Apparently, masturbating inside the library didn't break any rules. Cooper began returning to the library about 6 months ago. No one stopped him. Why would you let a guy like that back in the library?
Well, I mean, like I said, I mean, you like to give people other chances.
Yeah, but this is a guy who's performing a sexual act in a library. I mean, why would you allow him back in the library?
Well, it was several years ago, and I wasn't aware, that he had any criminal record or that it was continuing.
I didn't think I was doing anything wrong at the time, and now I understand
you didn't think having sex underneath the table at the library was wrong?
At the time, no. Now, I admit that I was wrong. There's nothing else that I can say.
While Cooper's antisocial behavior should be a concern to all parents, the unemployed porn site user has his own folks to deal with now. You live with your parents?
Yes.
What do you think they're going to think when they see this?
They're going to kill me.
I don't like you getting in my face either, or my son's face. You want
But
to
not
talk
before
to me,
taking their
you talk
anger
to me
out
about
on
this
us.
stuff,
Your
and
son
talk
doing
to
out in
me.
the public, in a public place, exposing himself, and having...
I said get out of here. Get that out of here. Now. Do you want me to take that thing away from you and stick it up?
threatening behavior at the computer inside your neighborhood library and at the Cooper residence.
I'm a combat vet. And if you want me to bring my god or to you, you son of a I will. And you won't like it.
Well, by law, libraries aren't required to filter out pornography on their computers. Generally, it's up to each library system to set up its own guidelines. Of course, all libraries must take the appropriate action to make sure that children aren't exposed to internet porn at the library. But as we'll find out tomorrow at 11, that's not always the case.
Now, is this a case where more security might be advantageous?
Now, we're already spending a lot of money on security so far this year. Or actually, this entire year, we'll spend about $316,000 at the county libraries and $2.3 million at the Cleveland Public Libraries for security alone. So we are spending some cash.
And they don't feel, the people there don't feel legally empowered to throw somebody out for this.
Many don't, and that's what we'll talk about tomorrow.
All right, Carl, thank you. We will see you tomorrow night for more.